All right, how about you?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. I'm
Every
I know I'm really excited about some OU football, man.
Yeah, me too. Every since everything happened with the coaching change and uh I don't know, it just ignited a different fire in me at that time because I was born and raised into this,
Right.
into OU football. And I was a fan, but it just felt like betrayal, when he did what he did. And it just, I don't know, I felt different about OU. I've been on Twitter a whole lot more than I was before, after that happened.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Betrayal, that's a good word, man. Because that's exactly what it was. Like a lot of fan bases think we're crazy, and like a lot of colleges and that's the thing is like we don't go through coaches, like
no,
when you come
I
here, you stay here.
it was more I think when you look back on the season and then when he left, that's what really bothered you because the whole season, me and my wife even said it, that something seemed off the whole season.
It did.
The whole season never felt right. It was like something was always missing every game, and then even towards the end, you even seen it affecting special teams. And then
Yeah.
when he left, it was like, was this his plan the whole time? And is that why the season went the way it did? And then everything began to make sense to me. It was like, okay, now I understand why the season went the way it did and everything like that.
It makes a lot of sense, man. And it's too bad that you know, a coach at that level would
Mhm.
even go to something like that. It says something about their character anyway.
It speaks volumes. I mean,
It does.
when I was reading the, I think it was a defensive lineman, the one that decommitted and ended up committing to Texas A&M.
Yeah, that
And
Dindy.
and I was reading when he said, he asked him, was he going to be there? And he said, yes, yes, yes. And then he left. And he said that rubbed him the wrong way for him to do that, So, it was just shady in so many different ways.
Yeah, and it's pretty funny, like, they say like the USC fan base says we're delusional and
Mhm.
everything. And it's just like, well, it's just like when you steal a girl from a dude, like she's gonna do the same thing to you, like they're
It's
gonna
only a
get
matter of time, right?
only a matter of time, man.
It's
And
only a
like,
matter. And I mean, look, when you're on the receiving end of that, you're going to say that about the other fan base. When you receive what they got, of course they're going to say, "Oh, you fans are this." But if if Lincoln Riley did that to them and came to OU, they would feel the same way. It's just a point of, you have to understand how people viewed us even on a national stage going into this year, and then how we ended. And even though, you know, what we didn't have a losing record, we had a good season. Everything was on edge all season, but it still didn't feel like the type of season that the numbers, what our record ended up seeing. And
yeah,
that's what's
when
frustrating.
yeah, when we were sitting in 9-0, like it didn't feel like 9-0 at all,
And,
man.
and even when we were ranked in the first college football ranking, I didn't like it, but I understood it.
Yeah.
It's one of them things where you can't really be mad about it. You have to understand it, because if you looked up to that point, what had we really done outside of the comeback against Texas and Kansas State? Prior to that, we hadn't done anything up until that, and you know, I couldn't be mad at them for ranking us like that, because it just seemed like we were always on edge, like right there at the tip of the edge of losing a game.
Yeah.
And then it happened in Baylor, you know. Um, I don't
Boy,
know, the season just felt off.
Baylor,
But
Baylor worked them boys.
they did. They did.
Did.
I don't know. I think if he would have been 100% in, I think we would have been in the playoffs. I think we would have finally got it together at some point.
Yeah, there's just
But
so much talent, man.
and that's what a lot of the fan base is mad about, is that we had such great expectations for this team, and we didn't even seem like scratch the surface of what they could have been. You
Not
know,
even close.
and that's what's so bad about it. But it reignited once they brought Brent Venables in. I remember uh, his defenses, and I remember when people were mad at him. But when you go back and you look at when they played, was it Texas Tech in 2008 or was it Nebraska? You can look at either one of those games and just watch how that defense played. That whole year, matter of fact, except for the Texas game. And then you look again, and I think 2011 or 12 when they completely demolished Texas, on every 5 side of the game. And you watch his defenses, and I was happy because I don't know what kind of strength and conditioning they were getting.
Yeah, I know. Like I went to the OU Nebraska game this year, and all they worked out was just like the stretchy stuff. Like
the
like
resistant bands.
Yeah, like some fitness stuff, and like their body language. Like they didn't even interact with each other, or like you got to get each other up, man. You just can't walk into the locker room, put your pads on, and expect to go out there and dominate. It was pretty wild.
I mean, but can you really blame the kids though? At that
Oh
point?
no,
Because it's not them. If he's setting a culture like that, then that's what you're going to get. The players are a reflection of the coaching. So if they're acting like that, it's just a reflection of what's going on above them.
Yeah, totally agree.
So that's if that's what you've seen, and I don't know, it just seemed the whole season was off. But I'm ready for this one though. I know that.
Hell yeah, man! We got some dime time, Dylan Gabriel. That's gonna be pretty nice. I'm pretty excited about Nick Evers too, man.
Yeah, I watched, of course, when he announced. I didn't know anything about him.
Yeah.
And then when they announced him, I went to YouTube, of course, and watched a lot of film on him. He has that, and I think Sam Hayes said this too. He has, I think it was him. Don't quote me on that, but he has that Baker Mayfield.
Oh yeah.
Kind of feel about him. I think you put him with Marvin Mims, Theo Weiss, Cody Jackson, Farouk.
Farouk's gonna go nasty on some people this year.
I'm glad he didn't leave because whoever, I don't know why he wasn't used this whole year, but when you seen him in the Alamo Bowl,
son,
you see, like it was almost like, I don't know who was calling the plays or who, I think it was Cale Gundy, right? That was calling the plays.
Yeah.
And it's like he purposely got him the ball a couple of times and showed like, you put him in a Jeff Lebby offense,
telling you,
it's there, So you're looking at that, and then and then also with Dylan having the he's going to have a stronger offensive line, more than likely now. He's going to have that time in the pocket that we've seen Baker and everybody else have. So I think it's going to be something. I don't think there will be a fall off, in my opinion.
No, there's really not. Like you said, the culture change. And what's nice is the a bunch of old players coming back around and having roles in the staff, like Josh Norman and Curtis Lofton.
Yeah.
And even Roy Williams. Roy Williams will be letting them know.
Yeah, he's
a dog, man.
He's OU through and through, and like I read a lot of his tweets and everything, and it's just he doesn't play when it comes to OU.
No,
yeah, there's no games with him. There's no in between either. You're either over here or you're over there, and that's the only way it is. So it's good seeing that. Just seeing the old players, coming back and giving everybody, and then Bob Stoops, you can't say enough about him coming back and dropping what he's doing to come back and coach a bowl game. And I mean, you can't say enough about him.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
actually,
mean?
yeah, I talked, so I've talked to Zach Sanchez last week, and then
Yeah, I seen.
Rufus Alexander earlier this week. And man, both of them, they couldn't speak enough about Bob Stoops, man, and just how much they respect him as a man, and just how much he like mentored them, and just really just had their back,
Yeah,
And
you can see
it doesn't look like Coach Riley was even into that at all, man.
I mean, when you look back in retrospect, just like with any relationship, when you go back and you look back at how things were, and you see where it was like it was off, but we didn't see it was off then. Like look at Brent. He's bringing back old players, Josh Norman, Curtis. Curtis Lofton, two of my favorite players, especially Josh Norman. But he's bringing them back to help them because of what they're going to go through and what they're going to deal with, especially being, players for OU, and dealing with the pressures of maybe having a bad game or, Schmidt being tough on them or something, to give them that door. And you can understand the psychology behind that. You know what I mean? And understand how they can benefit from having that other person to go to. And when I watched the Oklahoma breakdown, yeah, I watched them at all their episodes. I've been watching them.
It's pretty good, man.
And I listen to how they talk about Brent and everything, and it's just like, I think this is what we needed, irregardless of what any outsiders may say. I think OU fans know this is what we needed, and know that this was the best move for us after he left.
Yeah, that it's sad to say, but like Coach Riley really was dividing a fan base, man. Like he was with his poor player or whatever. But like you said, man, it's a new season and all that's in the past. And what I like about Brent is like with Coach Venables is how he just pays attention to detail, like all the small things, man. Because like that's what builds championships, man. It's just small things and some big beast out there, and just.
And that was the thing that I paid more attention to this time, in the hiring process, because I never paid attention. Only thing I wanted to know was who's the head coach. After that, I was good, but then understanding all the pieces that are really needed, in that staff as a whole, from the recruiting standpoint to, the on-field coaching, then you understand that getting those pieces right is just as important as getting the other titles right, and understanding the recruiting aspect and having somebody that can, relate to, people as far as social media and how they interact and things like that. And I think he's put the right people in the right spots. And from this process happening, I've learned a lot about how the process works.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Don't rush the process, trust the process.
Exactly. I have a question though. Have you seen the huddle video of the new running back?
Tawny?
I think is it Tawi?
Yeah, Tawi, yeah.
Tawi Walker, have you seen it?
That's pretty sick, man.
Who does he remind you of?
I was thinking of Alan Patrick did, that Alan Patrick.
I was thinking he reminds me of if you put his tape by Samaje P. Ryan and Ramondre Stevens, and you go look at his running style.
He's that big, huh? I didn't realize he was that big.
I don't know his measurables right off the top, but I know from what he runs that big.
He runs that big, yeah.
He runs that big. He's got some power behind him, and if you notice, he's always had a back like that.
Oh yeah.
I think they've always had that beast that can, it's going to take more than the first hit to get him down.
Right.
We had
Yep.
some Madre, then we had Ramondre, and looks like that's what he's going to be.
Nice.
As far as watching his film, I seen it, and the first thing I seen after about a couple plays, I was like, yeah, that's who he reminds me of.
Nice. I liked the tape of that Halton kid at Flip from Oregon. You seen his tape?
From Oregon.
Halton.
Yeah, Grayson.
Yeah, Grayson Holden.
Yeah, I watched that.
Man, that's not even fair.
It's not. And if you go back and you look at Clemson had a player just like him. He was number 42. I cannot remember his name.
Isaiah Simmons.
Is that him? He played.
Was he a linebacker?
He was on the line. He was number 42.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And you remember in the national championship, he played both sides of the ball.
Yep,
I think he was either a lead blocker or he ran a touchdown.
Yeah.
And he was on the defensive line.
Yeah.
That's who he reminds me of. I can't remember his name, but that's who he reminds me of. If you go back and look at those Clemson national championship games, and you see number 42, you'll be like, that's who he's gonna, that's what his potential is.
Yeah. That's really nice. He played tight end too in high school, so he'd be, pretty athletic, man.
Yeah,
Kavonte Freeman from Michigan too, man.
Is he the edge?
A linebacker, I believe.
He a linebacker.
I think maybe one of those hybrid positions, maybe.
Yeah, I watched the film. Good size, speed too. He you think about somebody like him with like Clayton Smith.
Oh yeah.
You have those two guys on the edge or something like that.
Yeah.
That's who, as far as size and speed, that's who I seen it like. More like I don't know, Ogarampa. I don't want to mess his name up.
Yeah. Obo.
Obo. I don't want to mess his name up, but yeah, that's who I see. I think once he gets under Smitty and he gets that size, that's who I can see.
Nice.
Him being like.
Do you know Schmitty's responsible for 6 Heisman trophies, man? He's trained 6 different 6 different Heisman Trophy winners, man.
Who?
Danny Warfel, Tim Brown, Baker and Kyler, and I can't remember I think the other one, Cam Newton maybe was one of them.
Was Sam Bradford?
Yeah,
was
maybe
he there with Sam?
Yeah, he was there with Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford. What about
might have been
Jason White?
Jason White, yeah.
Yeah, one of those two, because I know he was there until 2018,
I think, or 19.
Yeah, it was around that time. It wasn't too long after Stoops stepped down.
It was 18 or 17, I think.
Yeah,
because the 18 team won the Moore Award or whatever for the best offensive line in the country.
Sure did.
They won that award. So
Joe Moore Award.
Yeah, but I don't think Schmitty was there. I think he left the year before, and
he did.
Yeah.
Well, and that was another thing, seeing how he you don't understand what strength and conditioning is until you see the differences between coaches.
Yep.
And after he left and they brought Schmitty in, I went back and watched tape from when he was there up until he left.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back and watched tape from when Wiley came in, I think, and up until, and you can see the
difference. Physicality, man.
On every level. Not on both line in the trenches, on the offensive and the defensive line in the trenches. You've seen the difference, and it's not, and I'm not blaming any of the players because we still had great, I'm not blaming them at all. And pointing a finger at them and calling them anything. I'm just saying you can see the difference.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And but I'm just ready to see what he's going to do with these guys he's got there now.
Yeah, you've been watching any of the Senior Bowl. Perion Winfrey is just going beast on everybody. He don't give a shit, dude. He's going.
They said he may have moved him to the first round.
Dude, I believe it, man. He's just been dominating, dude.
From what I'm seeing, a lot of our defensive guys that are there.
Oh yeah, also Asamoah, he's tearing it up, man.
Isaiah Thomas is doing well.
Oh yeah,
I seen a couple plays with him. I mean,
he's pretty long, man.
that what does that tell you though, as far as seeing how they're doing? You know what I'm saying? What would have happened if they were really
Yeah, I know.
You know
Like,
what I mean?
There's no reason that OU shouldn't have at least one national title in the last 5 years. Like that 2018 offense was so good, man. Like there's no reason why they shouldn't have won a national, at least one in the last 5 years.
None.
It blows me away.
It was like for 2 or 3 seasons straight that they led college football, and was it scoring or total offense? Yeah. I don't understand that either, and that's why it just never made sense. But then you understood why defense wins championships.
Hell yeah.
And why that phrase is well known.
That's like your pop